Today on this lab, we are going to look at flow logs. So the overview is, in this lab, you will learn how to publish logs, flow logs from ENI to CloudWatch log group. So there are three things we are going to look at: creating an instance from the resource, also the CloudWatch, and under the CloudWatch we have the log group, and also we are going to connect it by creating a policy under the IAM resource as well. It's pretty much so simple and straightforward. So first we are going to start with creating an instance. So go to the AWS console. So I'll click on my EC2, come to instance, and straight down I'll click on launch instance. I'll give it a name of your choice. So we are going to use the default AMI. We are going to use the default instance type, and I'm going to select a default key, or you create one. So I'll move straight down to the network setting. For the purpose of this training, I'm going to edit. I can either use the default or customize. I'll use any of the subnets because it's not specific on subnet, which is the availability zone. So I'm going to use the default availability zone. The public IP is showing as enabled. That is fine. To make it accessible over the internet, I'm going to use a selected an existing security group. So to make the security group public, there should be the HTTP and HTTPS added to the Linux protocol, which is SSH. So I have my configuration storage. I'll click on advanced to include my script on the user data. Just scroll down to the end and we'll paste the script. I'll click on launch. At this point, we have successfully created our instance. So click on instance. I'll refresh. See my running instance. So I'll just do a little bit of cleanup to see this alone. This is the instance we just launched. The status is showing, the head status is showing as initializing. It takes some few seconds to be updated. So I'll have to duplicate this tab. While waiting for this to be updated, I need other resource as the CloudWatch. So I'm going to connect the CloudWatch log. So CloudWatch as a resource. I'm going to log group. I'm going to create a log group. Straight on, all I need to do is to give it a name. And that is all. I click on create. So I've successfully created a cloud log group. So at this point in time, this is perfectly in place. I'm going to look at the other resource, which is the IAM, identity and access management. So in this, I'm going to create a policy and then a user role. First, on the policy, I'm going to create. I'll go to my JSON. I have the policy I'm going to change the existing policy and put in my own policy for this particular lab. So this policy speaks about the control and permission, specific permission to achieve our flow log. So I come down, click on next. Policy name, I'll give it a name. That is fine. Description, I'll put it as demo, or you can give it a name of your choice and a description of your choice. So at this point, everything has been done. I'll click on create a policy. So I've successfully created a policy. Now I'll go to the row. I'll assign a row. Click on row. I come to create a row. Now I'll be using a customized trust policy because I just created a customized policy. So I'm using the customized trust. At this point, I'm going to copy out this and put a new policy here. So policy was created separately with a customized permission. On the row, I'm going to also create a policy. So I've copied and pasted the policy as well. Pretty simple. Straight down, click on next. And here I'm going to search for the policy which I created, which is flow log policy. So I'm going to select this, connecting the policy now to the row. Click on next. So the name of the row, I can give it a name of my choice and give it demo. So in the description, you can put in your description. I've selected demo as my description and I'll click on create policy. So I created the policy, I connected it to the user row. So everything is perfectly set up. Go to the dashboard, the policy, a new policy created and an additional row has been created. All we need to do is go back to the instance and see what the update is. Now our instance is showing 2 of 2. I'll run straight down to my network. Underneath the network, I'll run straight down to my ENI. I'll click on the ENI. So Elastic Network Interface. So this is where we go straight down to create our flow log. So I'll click on flow log. I'll create a name. So you can give it a name of your choice. So I'm going to change the maximum from 10 to 1 for the purpose of this. The parameters will be defined by you, but in this lab I'm using 1 minute. So destination is already selected as CloudWatch log. So the outcome of this lab would reflect on the CloudWatch log group. So I'll select the destination. You can see it here. This is what we created under the CloudWatch log group. The AI that we are using, I created the name as the row as spell. Straight on, it is interactive. So at this point, I'll click on create a flow. So I have successfully created this flow. So everything has been done. I'll give it a couple of minutes. I'll go back to I'll click on the next tab here to set the resource, which is CloudWatch. So the log that will be created on the instance should reflect on our log group that we created. So I'll click on refresh. Let's see. Give it a little more time. So every log on the network will reflect here. So just give it a little more time. So we come to I'll click on the log group, and underneath we can find the log that was just created. So thank you so much. So we have been able to work with creating the server, which is an EC2. We connected it to the CloudWatch log group, where the log that is generated on the network will be stored. Also, we looked at AMI, created a policy, customized policy, and also created a row and assigned the policy to the row, which is connected to the EC2. So simple and straightforward. All you have to do is understand the architectural structure, understand the flow, and then the coupling will be perfectly done. So this is the outcome. We have been able to generate a log from the ENI, which is Elastic Network Interface. Thank you so much, and do have a great time. Please follow up with me on other labs. I have several other labs that have been produced and more to come. Thank you so much. And if there's any question on the YouTube channel, you can just drop us a question and we'll be pleased to review and get back to you. Thanks.